Let me take this to closer home because you mentioned China more than once. And there are two views. One is that Trump is ready to take on the Chinese on trade and tariff issues. The other is that this is a prelude to a deal with the Chinese, again being transactional. What would that mean, particularly for India and our security concerns? Is Trump keen to have a deal with the Chinese, or does he want to push the Chinese?
So I think Trump ultimately, as you say, he's a transactional person. If he can get some kind of a big deal with the Chinese, he will. He mentioned in the State of the Union that he had negotiated a deal with the Chinese, and that in his narrative, in his version of events, Biden didn't enforce it. It's complete nonsense. The problem is, of course, it was a highly protectionist trade deal. And to give you one sense, 90% of the tariffs that the United States got in return for putting up those tariffs in China, 90% of the revenue went to give additional subsidies to American farmers because they lost out on the Chinese market because the Chinese put tariffs on American farmer products. So the whole thing was a fiasco. And the Chinese never came through on the things they were going to buy, largely because of COVID. So he may try to reprise another one of those, even though the first one failed. The real question, Rajdeep, is what does he do on China's geopolitical ambitions, regional ambitions? One of his key officials, who is currently up for confirmation, has said, look, Taiwan is not important to us. And there is a strain within Trump's group that says, Taiwan is more important to the Chinese than to us. Why the hell should we care? And by the way, it's going to be hard to defend anyway. That would be a seismic shift in American foreign policy in Asia, because Taiwan has been seen as the key to whether or not the Western-led alliance can deter China. It's not even really just about Taiwan. It's about, does the United States have the strength, capacity, the will, the skill to deter China? And if that doesn't happen, I suspect that a country like Japan, which is an advanced industrial country, will think seriously about getting nuclear weapons. And that changes the landscape, the geopolitical landscape of Asia.